wait, you're a skateboarder. Like you're an avid skateboarder.
I was.
Were.
I was. Yeah, I was. Yeah. Why do you ask?
Well, it was an issue that came up in the Rittenhouse trial. I need your professional opinion. So whenever you're ready, I was just clicking to me.
That's fine. Let's go right into, because I was waiting to talk about the Rittenhouse trial stuff until you got here. So what's going on? What did skateboarding have to? I know he got hit with a skateboard.
He did, and I just wanted to point out that one of my favorite moments was when the defense attorney Mark Richards suggested, as part of his opening argument, that the guy was taking the skateboard, trying to remove Kyle Rittenhouse's head from his shoulders with it. I just wanted your professional opinion. How hard would it be to literally decapitate someone with a skateboard?
Are you serious? Did he actually imply that?
No, he said I'm almost directly quoting him when I said the remove head from his shoulders.
Oh, wow.
It was a great line. I was dying.
Well, I gotta say, there's no way someone could do it with a regular skateboard. Okay. Like, no one has the physical strength to take a regular skateboard. Now, a longboard that are really heavy, some skateboards, because longboards are skateboards, depending on how you look at it. I don't care. All boards are skateboards, longboard or not
all skateboards.
And anyway, if someone took a big, huge board and swung it hard enough, I mean, it would take a lot of strength, but I could see it happening. Yeah. But there's no way that I don't even use this term often, but I have to use it here. There's no way that soy boy would have been able to use that skateboard to do any damage. Well, no, not to do any damage, to decapitate someone. Because a skateboard, dude, you could kill someone very easily. Decapitation was not the right way to go, because I mean, a skateboard, you can do some absolutely serious damage, lifetime damage, and kill someone easily. No doubt about it. They are deadly weapons when picked up and swung, because they have heavy trucks. The trucks are really, if you hit someone with the trucks or the edge of the board, it can cut really well. I mean, a lot of boards are razored because of people who aren't very good at skateboarding will land upside down all the time, and it actually creates like this sharp edge on the end of the board. So they can absolutely be a deadly weapon. That's why when I first saw the video, which came out the next day, for those who have been living under the sand for the past how long did it go? 18 months ago or something? How long has it been? I don't even remember.
It was August last year.
Okay, not 18 months. So just over a year, 14 months. But the next day I saw the dude hit him with a skateboard, and then Kyle shot him. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can get killed by getting hit with a skateboard. So decapitated.
I learned that you could get killed with a skateboard from gleaming the cube.
Gleaming the cube.
How have you not seen this movie? I thought you loved skateboarding.
That's an older movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's you just aged yourself, you boomer.
Look, I watched it recently. It was on Twitch.
That doesn't make it better.
It was on Amazon Prime not too long ago. I watched it. I love that movie.
Yeah, no, I never I never watched Gleaming the Cube. There was not a lot of 80s movies that I actually watched. Oh, it was a Christian Slater movie. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I never did it.
His skateboard deck was like made of diamond plate. So funny. Oh god, it was great.
All right.
But yeah, so long and short of the trial today was opening arguments and then the first 3 witnesses.
Okay.
And as just a summary, the state, the prosecution had a fantastic opening statement.
Okay.
They really did. Binger, I think the guy's a heap of garbage. I don't like him. Just generally, I'm not a big fan of prosecutors normally, and I think he's been doing some really shady stuff. But I got to give credit where it's due. His opening statement was well delivered. It was really focused. It did not feel as long as it was. It was a 34-minute opening statement. It felt like 15 minutes. It was expertly done. It's the last thing you want as a defense attorney going up is having the prosecution get up and competently deliver an opening statement that tells a narrative. Now,
What was it? What was the narrative? Like, what did he push there?
the main thing is that, one, Kyle had no reason to really be there.
Okay.
Is kind of the idea that Kyle's activities were not reasonable. That he was basically, I think their overall thrust is that he's exposing himself to danger and engaging in provocation that is unreasonable, right? Because the whole hinge of self-defense is this a reasonable action? Would a reasonable person in this way feel entitled to a self-defense claim? And so that is where they have to get to. So he's trying to paint his actions as unreasonable. The other thing he was trying to do is establish that Kyle illegally owned that gun, and that he was not allowed to have it. Again, going towards that overall idea of reasonableness, because people don't understand. You can illegally, like, you could be a felon with 48 million assault charges, right? So you can't have a gun under any circumstances. You just can't. Federal law, state law prohibits it. And you're being attacked and there's a gun nearby for whatever reason. You pick it up and shoot someone. You are illegally in possession of that gun. You are still entitled to use it for self-defense if it's reasonable to defend yourself in that way. So he's trying to get to the mental aspect of he shouldn't have had the gun in the first place. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. The other main thrust of his argument is that there's a bunch of other people there with the same sort of dangers: arson, looting, rioting, maybe some physical altercations and confrontations, and nobody else shot anybody. That was a big part of his argument. And that was, I would say, the main point. And the reason I'd say that is because he literally said that 7 or 8 times in a row to emphasize it, that there's all these other people are there, and Kyle Rittenhouse is the only one who shot anyone that night. He went back to that over and over. So
yeah,
that was the main thrust. His statement was very good. Their case is weak.
Yeah.
I want to be clear on that. They have a long factual battle to get the prosecution's case up there, but his statement was well delivered, well crafted. The defense, on the other hand, was delivered by lead attorney Mark Richards. Guy talks like this from Wisconsin. He's gonna.
That was a good Wisconsin. I'm from Chicago, so I know Wisconsin.
The evidence is going to show that Kyle Rittenhouse, that he's this guy, and he gets up there and he has that very, it's almost like a Jimmy Stewart sort of feel from, is it Anatomy of a Murder or 12 Angry Men? I can't remember. But yeah, he's a very Wisconsinian lawyer, and his opening statement was not great. Not great in my opinion. But again, the defense's case is so good for Kyle Rittenhouse that I don't think the opening statement being not superb hurt them that much. And the problem with it was 40 minutes long. It felt like it was an hour and a half. The last 20 minutes of it, the last 10 minutes in particular, were really good. It takes about 20 to 25 minutes for him to really rev up, and a lot of that stuff could have been cut. But once he gets into it, it's fantastically done at that point. He brings in a lot of evidence. The defense actually won. The prosecution objected to their opening statement before they made it, saying that because the defense wanted to do a video presentation or a slideshow presentation, right? Bunch of pictures, bunch of video, but none of that stuff's been admitted into evidence at all. So the prosecution objected, said, hey, we can't introduce evidence in an opening statement. Well, you have to introduce that through witnesses and all this stuff. But they had stipulated to the authenticity of everything already, not admissibility, but authenticity. And the judge says, is it going to be relevant? And he says, yeah, Your Honor, it's going to be relevant. And the judge let him do it. So they did have a slideshow. And in that, they were able to get some really good pictures of Huber, who we were just talking about, skateboard bro.
Right.
Literally grabbing the gun and pulling it away from Kyle. Pictures that I had not really seen, because it happens. I mean, one thing that's hard to remember is that the event between where he shoots Huber and Gage Grosskreutz is 7 seconds.
Yeah. Really quick.
Yeah. Oh, and actually that includes the guy jump kicking him in the face first. So he
Right.
gets jump kicked. He gets hit with the skateboard, shoots, misses the jump kicker, shoots Huber after getting hit with the skateboard. Gage comes up, does the fake surrender, then pulls it, or then goes for the gun, and Kyle shoots him. That's all 7 seconds long. And,
Yep.
and it's so fast. But there's some still frames that they had that do show him. I mean, he is grabbing the gun and pulling it away from Kyle.
Wow,
And
I didn't
Kyle's
see
able
that.
to, yeah, and I haven't seen it either. So that was really good. He did get in the statement that Rosenbaum said he was not afraid to go back to jail, which was very interesting. He also got in the statement that Rosenbaum said, "Shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word," and then he actually dropped the N-word, repeating it in court, which was pretty funny.
Okay. Bold in this day and age.
Very bold. But no, I actually think that was good because his presentation was so boring and slow at that point. It was really, and that is a very jarring and attention grabbing thing. And it calls right back to the idea that this guy is unhinged. The first assailant of Kyle Rittenhouse is unhinged. He's telling people to shoot him. He's dropping racial slurs. And that just goes to Kyle's mindset. And I think that was really good stuff getting that in.
There's a few questions that popped in my head while you were. The first thing is when you were talking about the defense, or I'm sorry, the prosecutions. None of that seems to matter. Even if he, like you said, like even if you were convicted felon with all these charges and someone was coming at you and you picked up a gun and shot someone in self-defense, it's self-defense, and that's it. You're sure the all the other stuff aside, he was defending himself, and that is something that I feel was very obvious from day one. We saw that Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked. He was being chased by I didn't even know how unhinged this dude Rosenbaum was. And now I have this. You guys actually talked about it. You and what's his name?
His name's Kurt. Uncivil Law,
who was on your show today. You guys actually talked about it and played this video. I have it here. This is the one Jack Posobiec posted. Human Event Daily has obtained never before seen footage of Kyle Rittenhouse shooting, and it's 2 minutes long. I'm not going to play it, but you guys watched it, and it basically shows Rittenhouse. Look, it actually, I went right to it and asking if anyone needs medical. And then people start chasing him down and he runs away. And then near the end, somewhere in here, you hear gunshots being shot before he shoots.
Yep.
So it's like there were gunshots as Rosenbaum was coming at him.
And importantly, that gunshot, to put it in perspective, comes from a guy named Zeminski.
Oh, they know who shot.
Yes.
Okay.
He is actually who Rosenbaum was walking with just prior to this. Don't know the extent of their connections if they go prior to this date, but at the time Rosenbaum is walking down the road, he runs to catch up to Zeminski and then stops running at that point and is walking with Zeminski and Zeminski's wife.
Okay.
And then he breaks off. Kyle comes up. And they have their brief confrontation, I'll call it. It's where they meet eyes. And then Kyle says friendly.
Right.
And then they say, get him. And he turns and runs at that point. And so then while he's running away from Rosenbaum, who's right by Zeminski, this is all happening right next to each other. He runs, Zeminski stays. They probably get 20 yards from him. And then the gunshot, he fires the gunshot into the air. So if anybody's fired a gun, 20 yards doesn't sound like it's right behind you, but it's still really loud.
Yeah.
It's still a 20 yards handgun is still a really loud noise. It'll sound close. If you're running and afraid, you can certainly think that is fired at you. And everybody there has a reasonable assumption that they're in danger the moment they hear a gunshot go off, including Kyle. Everybody else in the crowd, and the crowd starts to move right away. It's about 2.5 seconds after that Rosenbaum catches up with Kyle, and Kyle makes, according to the state, it might actually be faster. I don't know. Okay. But that Rosenbaum catches up, and Kyle then turns and makes his 4 shots. And the state even had to admit, and this is actually probably a good move by them, they had to admit that Rosenbaum was reaching for Kyle's gun, which should be open and shut at that point. If you're reaching for a firearm, the person holding the firearm is almost always going to be justified in using deadly force,
especially when the guy is extremely agitated and asking for people to shoot him and screaming the hard R and just
and
clearly
even
unhinged.
Right before it, in the video that Posobiec has up, he screams out "F you" really loud, like in this very hostile sort of tone. As he's running towards Kyle, and it's right after that the shots happen. So, and this is all witnessed by one of the victims, whose name is McGinnis, not McGinnis, not Gavin McGinnis, McGinnis, who is I think a Daily Wire or Daily Caller, columnist. And he was there, and he's a quote unquote victim because he's the subject of one of the criminal charges against Kyle, but he doesn't see himself as a victim, and he's the eyewitness statement. And that's why the prosecution's case around Rosenbaum is so favorable to Kyle, I think, because he's got a friendly, a politically sympathetic person who is watching this, who knows about guns, who says that Rosenbaum was reaching for his gun. And it makes for an interesting predicament for the state here.